Nobody indeed. What is good? Welcome into Driving the Line. The overs here, brought to you by Driving the Line. That's right. College baseball week 3. Let's go ahead and get it on the screen and take a look at what we have. You all ready for it? College baseball season has been wild already. Of course, it's going to be wild. Just rowdy, man. Tizzle said, how about Arizona State coming through with a team total in the second inning? Let's go, big dog. Jeff, what's up, AB? What's up, big brother? Good to see you, man. Hope you guys are doing great. Yeah, so we're entering week 3 here at college baseball. We're starting to get some more information, starting to get just an understanding of all of these teams, right, and who we have. So what we want to look at here, let's start it off and take a look at what we have coming up this weekend, all right? Top 25 here. The Citadel at Florida State, Arizona State and Mississippi State in a tournament in Arlington, Texas. That is going to be a great game on Friday. Sacred Heart at NC State, Loyola Marymount at Wake Forest, Oregon State in Houston and Frisco. Tournament there. Oakland at Georgia. Look at this. Number 1, UCLA. Number 20, Tennessee in Arlington. That tournament in Globe Life is going to be fantastic this weekend. UT Arlington at Arkansas. Northwestern at Georgia Tech. Number 24, West Virginia at Kennesaw State. Lemoyne at North Carolina. St. John's at Kentucky. Baylor taking on Ole Miss in Houston, tournament down there. Gonzaga taking on Oklahoma here. Davidson at Wake Forest. Number 15, Clemson in South Carolina. Here we go. Little hated rivalry action early. Florida and Miami. Take a look at this from Alex Rodriguez Park in Miami, Florida at Miami. Number 10 at number 17. Going to be fantastic. Nebraska at Auburn. Another series going to be great. Southern Miss at Louisiana Tech. New Haven at TCU. Dartmouth at LSU. Number 9, Coastal Carolina taking on Texas, a tournament in Houston. And then Virginia Tech and Texas A&M. That tournament in Arlington, oh, yeah, absolutely. Tizzle said the Texas tournament this weekend might be the best one. Yeah. No, man. I know. Dude, I was completely off on that 17.5. I know. The wind is crazy, man. Big J. What up, big dog? Big J. It's so good to see you, brother. So good to see you, man. All right. So that's what we have in the top 25 this week. Now, let's take a look here. Team leaderboards. All right. So let's understand these teams offensively. And again, we're 2 weeks into this, right? We have a lot of weeks, but we're starting to understand these teams and what we have. So let's take a look at home runs on the left here. Miami leading the country with 27 bombs on the year. Georgia, 24. They're always up there in the top 5. Vanderbilt, 22 home runs in the year, 3rd in the country. Virginia, 17, and UCLA, 17 as well. Now, take a look at team runs. Miami, they've scored 144 runs this year. Georgia Tech, 126. New Mexico, we have to keep an eye on New Mexico, 108 runs already on the year. Virginia, 105. And then VMI, the Virginia Military Institute, love the boys over there, 103 that they put up so far this year. All right, now let's look at the other side. Pitching strikeouts. So pitchers, all right. Miami, look at this. Leading the country in strikeouts, leading the country in runs, leading the country in home runs. Any other questions for Miami? I love it. Wake Forest, 104 strikeouts on the year. LSU, 104. Mississippi State, 101. And Oregon State, 100. So we're seeing dominant pitching from these 5 so far. And then team ERAs. Clemson, 1.35 ERA. Texas, 1.53 team ERA. Southern Cal, 1.68. Looking good. NC State, 1.73. And then Cal Baptist there, 1.75. Tizzle, you've been talking about it, man. UCLA is as advertised. Yes, they are. This team is good. Edwin said, it's good to see everyone, man. It's good to see you, big brother. How we doing, man? Big Pat, double revenge spot for Brooklyn Nets versus OKC. Money line it, baby. All right, we're recording this on Tuesday, so let's go. I'm in, big dog. All right, coming in hot. So let's take a look at teams that are just coming in hot, doing well. All right, and the story of this is the top 5. UCLA, week 2, they went 4-0. LSU, week 2, 5-0. Texas, 4-0. Mississippi State, 4-0. Georgia Tech, 5-0. Now, there are a ton of teams that we could bring up in this, right? A lot of teams playing good. Virginia is not getting enough love at all for what they've been doing, right? But the story so far is that the top 5, are perfect, man. These boys are rolling, looking good. Now, so what do we use this information for? Well, college baseball can be a sport. Hitting is contagious, right? Teams playing well, they continue to play well. So, taking a look at what we've got this weekend, all right? Doesn't mean that we're necessarily betting all of these teams, but we take a look, circle our spots, see where we've got. Now, UCLA, Arlington tournament, they're going to be taking on Arizona State. Tennessee on Friday. I think Mississippi State on Saturday. Yeah, so we're going to be able to bet UCLA all weekend, but I don't want to say it's not going to come easy. They've been handling everybody else, right? But they're going to have some competition. LSU taking on Dartmouth. We probably will not be able to bet LSU any this weekend. Texas, Houston tournament, we'll be able to bet them. Mississippi State, same tournament as UCLA, Tennessee, Arizona State. We'll absolutely be able to bet Mississippi State. Then Georgia Tech, 5-0 last week, taking on Northwestern at home. Likely, we might get Georgia Tech. I don't know. We might. But if we do, it's going to kind of be out of balance. Now, let's look at the other side, the bounce back. So, again, we're only 2 weeks in, right? So, if we have a team listed on here, it doesn't necessarily mean like the world's falling apart. Some teams not listed, the world is falling apart. But let's take a look here. TCU. All right, that was bad. 0-4 last week. Not good, big dogs. Not good. All right, taking on New Haven this week. We're probably not going to be able to bet TCU. All right, Oregon State here. Let me pull it back up. Oregon State, they went 2-2 last weekend. Again, we're not out on Oregon State by any means. Dropped to number 19 in the rankings. They'll be in the Frisco tournament. We'll be absolutely looking to get them on a bounce back. Number 20, Tennessee. They went 2-2. Should have gone 1-3, and that would have been 3 losses by Kent State. They walked it off on Friday. Tennessee looking better against Bellarmine. I hope I pronounced that correctly. On Tuesday night here, but again, number 1 UCLA is calling on Friday, Hoss. So we're gonna find out. Louisville 2-2 last weekend. They're not ranked. They dropped out of the top 25. Taking on Central Michigan should be a nice bounce back weekend for them. If we could get Louisville at a decent price, yeah, take a look. Well, maybe. We'll see. But no, they should have a bit against Central Michigan. Florida State, they dropped it. They went 2-2. Again, not down on Florida State. Wasn't a great weekend, but was what it was. Taking on the Citadel this weekend. Probably not going to be able to bet Florida State this weekend, but yeah. So, all right, trends of note. So, again, as we go and as we get a month into this, there are more stats and information that we have. But 2 weeks in, here's what we have. What do we pay attention to so far? All right, Virginia. We have to be talking about this baseball team. I don't know how they're not in the top 25. Look, 6-1. Virginia, they're averaging 15 runs scored per game this season. Yeah, and that's just them. So Virginia putting up heavy runs already. Miami, we've talked about it. They've scored. Okay, here's the stat to know. The runs that Miami has given up are actually, okay, let me read this. Miami scored 10-plus runs in every weekend game this year. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, again, pay attention to strength of opposition, so to say. It's a strength of schedule. It's not the same. RPI, you can check all that out. But, yeah, man, Miami on weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday games have been putting up double digits in all of them. Clemson, they have a run differential of 52-14 this season. So Clemson putting up not a million runs, but they're doing the job, and they are not giving up jack. Dude, it is not easy to get runs off Clemson. So if you're looking at games, unders, if you look at run lines, Clemson right now is looking pretty good at that. Georgia Southern. All right. Thought we had some something good with Georgia Southern possibly this year. Doesn't appear to be the case. 0-7, and they've allowed 91 runs this year. So we're going to have to circle Georgia Southern. Like, if you're taking notes, and again, we're recording this on Tuesday. So once the game, these are all for this weekend's game. So we have time here. But as you got to go through and you're circling, you're like, all right, whoever the world is playing Georgia Southern, I'm in. All right, Oklahoma hitters. They have already drawn 74 base on balls. Yeah. Oklahoma getting on base. You're seeing big run production out of them, and boys are doing it. So not really a stat that we can bet on there. I don't know if you can bet on walks, hit by pitches, or anything like that. But if you want to bet on runs, man, Oklahoma's getting runners on base. So, all right, those are some trends of note that we have going into week 3. Under the radar series, what do we have here? Let me pull this up full screen. VCU at Virginia. All right, so VCU, 4-3? Good baseball team. Virginia 6-1. We just talked about it. Literally just smoking at the plate, hitting everything, moving. This Virginia team, we're going to be talking about them a lot this year. All right, South Florida at UCF. 2 good baseball teams. In-state, going to be a solid weekend series here. Oregon at Arizona. So we have a tournament here. Is this a tournament or a series? I can't remember. Let me check. I think it's a tournament. Or maybe, I don't know. Let me check back into it. But either way, on Friday, Oregon and Arizona getting after it. Oregon, what are they, 8-0? Looking great. Oregon, another team that we're going to want to talk about, we're going to keep track of. And then Arizona, obviously, has not been a good start there. So, unfortunately, we need to start keeping an eye on Arizona the other way if we need to start fading them. But Oregon is looking good so far. That's another baseball team we really haven't spoken about. So keep an eye on them because we will absolutely be able to bet Oregon this weekend, Arizona as well. Kansas at Minnesota. 2 good baseball teams. Don't let Minnesota and it being 4 degrees up there or whatever it is fool you. They play a little bit. Kansas can too. Might get some runs out of here. So a series we might want to pay attention to what we get in terms of the totals here. Daryl, any opinions on Alabama cracking the top 25 by end of March? Oh, dude, Alabama can absolutely, they just got to keep the bats going, man. Because unfortunately they could give up runs too. But yeah, Alabama's been a team that we've been on the last couple of years, and it's cold too. That's another thing. I don't want to label any of these teams. We're gonna have to keep an eye on some of them who haven't started well, but once it gets warm, Bama's absolutely going to be mashing. I mean, they already are. So yeah, I can see it for sure. They just got to keep it going. And they've played a decent schedule too. Give them credit. All right, yeah, Kansas at Minnesota. Then Michigan at San Diego. So we were talking about San Diego on the Tuesday morning show. Tizzle. Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, Oregon playing at Attorney Las Vegas. They play UC Irvine on Saturday. That's right. Okay, so yeah, apologies. Man, these tournaments, they start to add up. But yeah, so Oregon and Arizona Friday. And then Oregon and UC Irvine on Saturday. My goodness, man, that's going to be an excellent one. And then Vanderbilt on Sunday. Yes, give me some of that. Oh, my goodness. That is man, these tournaments are fantastic. I love them. They're tough, but I love them. Then Michigan and San Diego. Tizzle, you were talking about San Diego on Tuesday taking on UC San Diego. So we're going to keep an eye on them. San Diego, good team. Obviously, we've talked about Michigan. So there we go. All right, now, excuse me. So the rotation. Well, anybody who's been around here for a couple of years now betting college baseball knows we keep a rotation. What this is a list of teams that we just like to continue betting. You know what I mean? They're looking good. There could be a lot of games on the board. It could get distracting, right? So it's kind of a tool for that of saying, all right, let's not overthink this. Let's remember where we're at. Remember the teams we like. Remember, all of that stuff. Yeah, and really nobody that we need to take off. Texas 7-0, averaging 8 runs scored per game, only allowing 1.8. Went 4-0 last week. Mississippi State 8-0. They're averaging 9.6 runs scored per game, only giving up 2.8. So again, Mississippi State, a good run differential team. Georgia Tech 8-0, 15.7 runs per game. This Georgia Tech team is on a mission. They are engineering, manufacturing runs, Haas. I love it, man. And only giving up 3.6 runs per game so far this year. 5-0 last week. Auburn 6-1. Love this team. 6.3 runs per game on average. Not as high as the other teams on this list. Would like to see Auburn get that up a little bit more. Into the 7s is really good. 8s are glorious, right? But again, no complaints whatsoever. Auburn's played a tough schedule so far. Really liking where they're at. So 6.3 runs per game scored on average, only giving up 3.0. Remember last week it was 1.0, right? So 3-1 last week. North Carolina 6-1, scoring 8.3 runs per game on average. Only allowing 2.6. Sorry, I had to take a drink. Only allowing 2.6 runs per game so far, and went 4-1 last week. Played against East Carolina. So yeah, I mean, look, there are a lot of teams. Yeah, no doubt, Adam. And that's the thing, too. Look, UCLA needs to be on the list, right? LSU on the list. Virginia on the list, right? Yeah, no doubt, man. And as we get more information, we'll expand this out from 5 to 10, wherever we feel comfortable. So, yeah, I'm right there with you. And anybody looking at it saying, AB, you are leaving teams out of this. I know. I understand. Like, it's just tough. We only have 2 weeks of data, right? And we could have 9 million slides. But to your point, though, I completely agree. And I'm glad that you said it, because I don't want this to look like, hey, we don't believe in UCLA anymore. We just talked about it. Oh, no, we do. Yeah, we do. But yeah, man, we just keep this rotation going. So, yeah, UCLA, we got some additions that are going to go on it for sure. Aubie, love Auburn this weekend to win the series. Yeah, man. Look, I like this Auburn team. I like where they're at. So this is our rotation. All right, so let's go back to our top 25. All right, and this won't be too terribly long of a show, just because, once we get a month in, we'll have a ton of data. We have weather and stuff we could work with. But we have what we have, baby, and we love it. All right, so let's take a look here at the top 25 again and identify teams that we might like. Citadel, Florida State, probably not going to be able to bet that. Arizona, Mississippi State tournament this weekend. What do you want to do? Arizona State 7-0, Mississippi State 8-0. Keep that one circled. We're absolutely going to be betting that one. Sacred Heart at NC State, probably won't get to bet that one. NC State looking great. Loyola Marymount, Wake Forest, we'll probably get to bet this one. Loyola Marymount 3-5 on the year. Wake Forest looking sharp already. Oregon State and Houston. We will absolutely get to bet this one as well. Looking for Oregon State on the bounce back. Now, Houston, a good baseball team here, and it's in Frisco, Texas, right? So keep an eye on Oregon State. We don't know yet, right? We're looking for them on the bounce back, but that Houston game in Texas, that scares me. So circle it. We'll keep an eye there, but I don't know if I want to fade Houston in that spot. Oakland at Georgia, probably not going to be able to bet this one. If we do, Georgia runs. UCLA and Tennessee. Whew. All right. I'm interested to see what the total will come out in this one, because I could see this game on Friday being low scoring, as weird as that sounds. I could see it being high scoring. I mean, UCLA's putting runs everywhere in Tennessee. I mean, they're hitting the ball better today as we speak. But again, Bellarmine is giving up 1 billion runs. So I don't want to take too terrible much of that. If you're looking at it right now, and I say it as me, I'm a Tennessee guy, it is hard to fade UCLA. And here's the beautiful part, too. If you're feeling UCLA on Friday in this game, you're going to get them at a good price, too, right? I would probably say, UCLA minus 180, roughly, somewhere around there, give or take 20 either way. Tis 11.5 is my guess, and I'd probably lean under. Yeah, these two teams can – here's the other thing. These two teams can absolutely pitch. Absolutely pitch. Yeah, so we'll be keeping an eye on that one. But look, if you're somebody saying, AB, I'm not overthinking anything. UCLA, train, continue. Yeah, agreed. All right, let me pull this back up. UT Arlington and Arkansas probably won't get to bet that one. Northwestern at Georgia Tech, we might. Northwestern, they are who they are. All right. Yeah, we're going to get to bet this one. We'll get this. Georgia Tech probably going to be a run line favorite here of a couple, but yeah. Aubie, Tennessee gone under every game so far. Pretty much. I think so. Yeah, I think you're right. West Virginia at Kennesaw State. We'll actually be able to bet this. Some books. West Virginia is a fun team. We might get West Virginia at good prices here. Well, we will get them. Not that we're fading Kennesaw State, but I like this West Virginia team. All right, Lemoyne at North Carolina. Yeah, we're not going to be able to touch that. They won't give us anything there. St. John's at Kentucky probably won't get anything there. Baylor at Ole Miss, or Baylor versus Ole Miss in Houston. We'll definitely be able to bet this. Feeling Ole Miss. Ole Miss is playing good baseball right now. Gonzaga, Oklahoma. Not as big on Gonzaga. Oklahoma, solid. Mr. Jesse. Hey, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Hey, B, hit a plus 900 parlay today with Sweat that Virginia Tech ninth inning. Thank you, sir. Well done, my friend. Well done. Plus 900. Great job, brother. Proud of you, man. All right, Gonzaga at Oklahoma. We might be able to bet it. Might not. Davidson, Wake Forest. Again, maybe, maybe not. Don't know what we're going to get from the books. Clemson, South Carolina. We'll definitely be able to bet this one. I would look, well, we'll keep an eye on the weather here. I don't want to just throw out overs or unders. We don't even know totals here, but I could see this I could see this being an old school baseball rivalry. I mean, obviously it is, but like I'm saying, the style of games, like this could be Cubs Cardinals style of baseball. Florida at Miami, my gosh. All right. What is Miami? 8-0, 9-0, Florida 7-1. Look, Florida's ranked higher than Miami. So we'll clearly be able to bet this one. Where are you going to go with this? Let me pull it back full screen. I know. I apologize. The text can be tough to read. I apologize. I'll work on getting it larger. Miami leading the country in home runs, pitching strikeouts. Like, there is nothing to complain about with Miami. I don't know how good the competition has been. Not great. But either way, if you've already put up 144 runs this year, you can hit. Florida. Hard to complain with what we've seen so far. The last 2 years, how Florida seasons have started, like 5-15, just brutal. Loving what we're seeing from the Gators so far. So this is going to be one heck of a series. Where do you put Friday game 1 total? Where do you set that at? Florida at Miami, in Miami. Alex Rodriguez Park, Mark Light Field. 11.5, 12.5, 13.5. I bet they go 14.5, don't they? Probably 13.5. Where would you min-max this thing? To speak like Bibbo. These teams are going to go at it. They're going to be hitting. I think we're going to get runs in this series. We'll have to check the weather. 13.5. I think you're right. I think 13.5 is probably where it's going to be. So we'll definitely be able to bet it. It's going to be fun. Nebraska and Auburn, we'll be able to bet this one. All right, so here's the tough part. I do not want to fade Nebraska 4-3, but sorry, man. I like where Auburn's at. Now, again, we'll have to see the prices and all that. We're recording this on Tuesday. We don't have any of this. It won't be here till Friday, right? But what it does mean is this. You're probably going to get Auburn, I don't know, minus 220. 200 at home, probably. All right, let's just say 210. That's tough. Auburn is going to be playable, very playable in 2-leg parlays. Obviously, Nebraska, you're able to play it straight up. Yeah. Where do you think this total starts out? Do they go 10.5 here? 11 probably 11.5. Where would you set it? I think I'd go 11.5 on Friday. I think I would. Adam, Auburn, UCLA money line. I couldn't argue that a bit. And again, I like Nebraska. I'm not saying anything negative against them. I'm saying the same thing against Tennessee, right? UCLA, Auburn. Both playing excellent baseball. I'm with you on that. We'll have to see what the prices are, but yeah, good thought process. Southern Miss, Louisiana Tech. This is going to be a great series too. Louisiana Tech 7-1. All right, Southern Miss 12th in the country, 6-1 on the year. Look, love Both of these teams are going to be teams that we're going to be betting this year. We're going to want to keep track of them. Southern Miss, they are who they are. Love everything about them. Louisiana Tech, under the radar team that starting to get a lot of confidence in. I mean, clearly, right? So where do you put this total? It's going to be pitching in this one. Southern Miss, man, give them credit. They have started the season with a schedule. Shout out to Ruston, Louisiana. All right, so I think 11 and a half, probably so. 12 and a half on Saturday, yeah. I wouldn't be. I bet somebody slips a 10 and that. Well, maybe not. If they slip a 10 and a half, I might go on that over. Other than that, there'd be a lot of pitching on Friday. All right, New Haven at TCU. We're not going to be able to bet this one. Dartmouth at LSU. Not going to be able to bet this one. Coastal Carolina and Texas. All right, it keeps going. All right, so Houston tournament here. Going to be a lot of Texas fans. It's likely going to be a Texas home game. Okay, where do you think they set this over under? 12 and a half? 13 and a half? I might be looking at this under the second that it comes out on Friday. We'll have to check the weather and all that, obviously. But there's going to be some pitching in this series, especially on Friday. All right, so we'll circle that one. We're going to be that's a good part. We're going to be able to bet a lot of these big ranked games. Virginia Tech and Texas A&M. Virginia Tech, man. This baseball team, another one that we're going to be talking about them. They're going to be flirting with the rankings. If they continue on what they're doing. And what can you complain about with Virginia Tech so far? Same deal with Texas A&M. Literally nothing to complain about. We'll definitely be able to bet this one. Another series or another game here. Not series, obviously. This is the same tournament with Tennessee and UCLA. And apologies, I was saying Arizona State. I meant Virginia Tech. So sorry. All right, so yeah. A&M is going to be really dangerous in this tournament. They see Texas. They see, and again, I'm not basing it off of all that, but this Texas A&M team has a little bit of that Florida in them. Last year was a disaster. And if anybody wasn't watching last year, like if you're new to college baseball, first off, welcome. Second, Texas A&M last year was ranked number 1 in the country and didn't even make the tournament. Like what we're talking about with Arizona, that's how Texas A&M started last year and continued all the way throughout. So, I mean, their coach had left. They just lost the national championship the year before. It was a disaster. It was a brutal year for them. But they've righted this thing. And there's a lot of talent. So this Texas A&M team is going to be one that we're going to want to pay attention to for sure. But this Virginia Tech team can play too. This Arlington tournament, dude, no doubt. I mean, it is strong, man. Yeah, Arizona State, Mississippi State, Tennessee, UCLA, Texas A&M, Virginia Tech in that tournament. Yeah, it's awesome, man. This tournament's going to be fantastic. So that's a good thing, too, is that these games are going to switch up. So these matchups that we have on Friday, obviously they'll move. I think Tennessee plays Arizona State on Saturday. So, yeah, it's going to be great, man. All right, so that's what we have. All right. We'll get out of here. Everybody, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week 3 of the college baseball season. Again, we record this on Tuesday. So we're good to go, setting ourselves up for the week that is coming up this weekend. Aubie, AB, do you think you could cook up an AB3, but on totals for the weekend? We could definitely do that. No doubt. Let's absolutely do that. I'm in, man. I love it. The overs indeed. All right, man. It's so good to see all of you. Thank you so much. Y'all are the best. All right. Let's have a wonderful rest of our week. We'll be live every morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. But until then, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets. We'll see you soon. Thanks.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!